Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setups for today. So pretty decent setup brewing here for more shorts. So we have a pin bar rejection of this area here, which is 36.38. We've got the oscillator separated up quite far apart and about to cross over. We've got a flag break and retest here. So there's a lot going on here on the 8 hour. Now, the only challenge that I see with this is this area of support here, which is 29.537. That will more than likely hold up price. The other challenge that I see is we have a grouping of the oscillators just above the 20 here on the weekly, and at the same time we have an inside bar forming pretty much off an area or zone, should I say, of support, which is between 32.46 and 29.537. So you need to pay attention to this on the weekly. We've got 2 days left on the week, but if this does play out, then I would expect a bigger move to the upside, and more than likely come and test that break there, which would be the next area for shorts. So down to the time frames we're interested in today. So on the 8 hour, a little bit of a different story brewing. Looks like a bit of a rejection here. Don't like this big down and big up of yesterday. It's just adds to confusion. It is an indication of confusion. Here is the flag break. So that's the bottom end of the flag. And let me just put the top end of the flag so everybody knows what we're talking about. There's the top end of the flag. So flag break, double bottom here, break and retest. I suppose you could argue that's a retest. Not good enough for me, but anyway, it has played out, and as a result has basically tested the flag break. Now, remember, I often say this, a lot of times a flag turns into a channel, especially on the US markets. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So what I want to do is actually get rid of the flag. Not important at the moment. What is important is the levels that we have in play. Have a look at the diversions here on the 3 hour. You can see oscillators making a high and then a lower high, whereas price is making a higher high. So that is indicating a continuation to the downside that it's brewing. We have got a pretty solid rejection here of 36.38, and this range bar that we have in play, and I just want to use my Fibonacci here. So there is the range bar from last week, and you can see the rejection is happening between the 50 and 61% Fibonacci of that range. So any break below this area of 32.46 and retest of that is definitely going to trigger the range trade. And again, as I said to you yesterday, your target's 29.537 and a little bit lower onto the range here. And I can't get a level on there. We'll have to just draw one in quick. That would be 29.357. So that's kind of the structure there. If we start breaking it to the upside, which would kind of null and void the range bar in my opinion, because we've already broken to the downside. But then there is a possibility that you start targeting this 32.200 area, 32.220 area. And you can see any one of these tails would offer up some kind of resistance. So let's just get rid of that. Let's get down to what we're looking to do today, and you can see pretty clearly on the 1 hour, big down. It didn't really find support there. Found support lower down, and this is often what happens. Just want to do this. You can see there's the underside of, so there's the first side of what you're looking for, and then just go to the underside of it, the fractional to the underside. Always put that level in because it gives you the zone, and you can see inside bar and then a pin bar in there, which was an indication that you're probably moving back to the upside. Still in a downward trend. We've got a moving average crossover here on the faster moving averages, but we're between the 155 and the moving average at the moment. So that is a dangerous range type environment. Could be a little flag forming here for another leg up. Very possible. But I think if you just drop down to a 15-minute, which is what you're going to be trading today, It's quite simple. You can see we're still in amongst these moving averages, so quite simply we start dropping below the structure that has formed already, and I just put a block in here for you. So we start getting above this area, finding support here, then that would validate your flag. Then you're looking for a move up equal to the height of this move, and keep your stops really tight because you are in a bigger downtrend, but that'll be a long scalp. You start dropping below 33.54. You just need to clear this area as well. So what I'd want is a drop, come back, test, reject an area of resistance. So, for example, right there is an area. So reject that 34.88 or even as far as 3500. Then you have a potential another leg to the downside. I think, quite honestly, if you've got the time, you probably look for the structure on the 5-minute. It's going to be far easier to sort of get one or two moves. You can see here's a little move on the 5-minute here, which happened pretty much well into the trading session, and that happened. So, and that gives you the afternoon, especially for people in sort of in European time zones who are working and who are trying to learn how to trade or just busy making a little bit of money on the side. It's quite easy to drop into the 5-minute after work, and then you can see where the structure is and start playing that accordingly. I think for me, probably ranging again today. Confusion is going to continue. There's a lot of support to the downside, so we're going to take a big catalyst to drive us down at the moment. The fact that we have a 1 hour crossover here is also, you need to keep that in the back of your mind. And you've got big gatherings. If I come to daily, look at this, we've got a big gathering here of the oscillators. And at the same time, if I just tidy up the chart a little bit for us, we've got a range bar from yesterday, but we do have 2 green days in a row with a bit of a range bar down here. And in fact, if we just trade that daily range bar, you'll see a range target being hit. Okay, so there's our range bar, there's our range. You see we hit it yesterday and basically formed another range bar. So anyway, for me it's really cautious, I think, because it's a bit messy for us at the moment, and especially with the buyers coming into the downside here with all the oscillators grouped to the downside, and even on the weekly you'll see a grouping on the weekly with an inside bar forming, as I've said. So the bulls on the longer term are trying to find their feet here. So you need to just keep that in the back of your mind. The trend is still down until it's not. So you still want to be trading to the downside, but whenever you're in between moving averages like this, you want to get down to a lower time frame, and you need to make sure you know where those upper and lower levels are, and then you need to be trading inside there according to whatever mini trend is brewing inside there on a lower time frame. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, for me, very cautious, and we'll see. If we've got time later today on the 5-minute, more than likely spend a couple of minutes on the charts on the 5-minute, and you should see some structure for some quick in and out trades. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.